Hello everyone and welcome to the app demonstration of the Access Rating app version 3. I'm Rich Copson, co-director of Access Rating CIC, and I'm going to take you through this tutorial today. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so before I actually log into the app, what I'm going to do is just show you something that we've added to the sign up process. So when you go to sign up, select the sign up button, you would then fill in the information for yourself. We've added a new area here. The area is user type. So this is an optional field that you can fill in. This gives you the ability to identify you as a manual wheelchair user, a power chair user, using a mobility scooter, using a walking aid, or just having another mobility impairment. So you'd be able to then select that user type. Like I say, that's optional, but it will appear next to your reviews. Now, what this will do is it will enable users to find it easier to find reviews that fit better for their circumstances. So if you can use this option, it's going to be helpful for the community in general, and also for you, because the more users that use put in these user types, you're going to be able to actually see reviews that are going to fit better for yourself. So for example, what I would do is I would select manual wheelchair user, because that's what I am, and I would pop in my details, pop in my password, and I'd then tick to say I'd read the terms and conditions. You can view those just there, clicking on T's and C's or privacy policy. And then you'd sign up. Just remember that when you sign up, an email will be sent to your inbox. What you will need to do is verify that email. Once it's verified, you'll be able to log in. Do also check your spam and any other inboxes just to make sure it's not fell into somewhere that you can't see. Usually takes 1 or 2 minutes to come through, and then once that's received, you can verify it, and then you're good to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to log in. So I'm going to log into my account, and I'm going to show you some more changes. Okay, so as you can see, I've now logged in. What I'm going to draw your attention to first is the venues near you section at the bottom of the page. So in version 2 that we launched, we were enabling users to use geolocation to identify hotels, bars and restaurants that were close by. So these are the ones that are currently close to where I am at the moment. We've added a very simple thing to this. We've added a filter by category button. So you can now filter whether you want to see just the pubs and bars, the hotels or the restaurants. Let's just say hotels and submit. It'll then change and show you all the hotels that are close by. The reason why this is useful is because you might be in an area that you're unsure of. So you could then say, right, we want to go out for a meal this evening. So I'm going to look for just a restaurant. Then you can just filter it just to the restaurants, and then you will be able to see just restaurants close by. You'll be able to have a read through the reviews of the access and see what would potentially fit for yourself. Okay, so let's show you more. In terms of searching for a venue, we have added some wording below, as you'll see. Please help us build a more user-friendly database for our community. If you can't find what you were looking for, suggest a venue via the menu, but you could also advise us of any errors and report a listing with the button at the bottom of the venues page. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So if, for example, you were searching for a venue to have a read of the reviews on Access or the Access ratings, you would obviously just put in the details here. But if you couldn't find it, you're going to go back and you're going to go to our menu and you're going to click this button, which is suggest a venue. We've simplified this menu option. You used to have to fill in lots of details in order to submit it. Now all we ask for is you put the name of the venue, the town, and what category it falls under, and then click suggest a venue. That then comes to us in the back end of the system, and we can then look into that venue and see if we need to get that added. So I'm just going to go back to the home screen. Now I'm going to talk to you about adding a rating. So if you're going to be adding a rating, so you've been somewhere, you'd had an experience, whether that was negative or positive regarding access, and you wanted to obviously get that message across to the business, or you wanted to get us to help you at least get that message across to the business, then what you would do is you would obviously search for the venue, and then you would submit an access rating. What we ask here is that you be as accurate as possible when you're searching. So there's an example there of Hilton, Kensington, London. So we just want those specifics in there, and it should help the database work better for you to find the venue in question. We are continually working to make our search functionality better, and we need all the community to work with us on that to enable things to improve. Access rating is not the finished article, and we want to make it the strongest app possible for the community. So please suggest venues, contact us with any queries, and we're always happy to assist. Okay, so now I'm just going to go back to the menu. Okay, so let's show you some more new features. So let's just say I'm going to have a look for submitting a rating. So I'm going to go on here. For today, I'm going to use an example of Hilton, London Bridge. It's not London Bridge, it's actually Tower Bridge. And to be honest, me making that mistake has helped, because at least it shows you that we need as much accuracy as possible to locate the venue on the database. So we then click Hilton London Tower Bridge. Okay. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to submit a rating. I'm going to show you how that user type appears. So, by the way, this is just a test. I've not visited this venue, so it will be deleted off the back end of the app once I've done it, but this is just an example. So let's just say, let's just give this a 4 out of 5. You can then put some optional comments in the bottom, but I'll leave that for now. What I want to do then is then add a review. Right, so as you see here, I've added the review. There's no comments because obviously I didn't leave any comments. So it's a rating of 4, and there's my details here. You'll notice that next to my name says manual wheelchair. Now, here's the clever part, and here's what we've put into the app to help our community as much as possible. You can now filter the reviews by the mobility needs. So if you select on this filter button here, you can then either view all the reviews, you can view the reviews from the perspective of a manual wheelchair user, which is something I will probably use a lot. You can review it from the perspective of a power chair user, someone with a mobility scooter, using a walking aid, or that has another mobility impairment. So as the ratings build up on the app, you'll be able to then look at ones that particularly fit your needs, which is going to be really useful moving forward. You'll see at the bottom, there's the part of report a listing. And that's what I was coming on to when we were talking about, you know, making sure that we're searching with as much information as possible, but also to make sure that we're getting in touch if there's any problems. To report the listing, if you see there being any sort of issue or error, click report a listing. You pop in the subject and pop in your message. That then goes to the back end. And again, we can assist you. If you are an existing user of the app and you're thinking, well, how do I put in my user type? Good question. So go to the menu, select contact us, fill in this information and send us a message asking to have a user type inputted. Select which category you want to fall under, and we will then input that into the back-end system. At which point, once it's completed, next to your reviews and ratings, you will see a marker that will say manual wheelchair user, power chair user, and so on. Just going to go back to the screen we were looking at before on Hilton London Tower Bridge. This time, hopefully, I will type this in correctly. Here we go. So it's here. Okay, so for an example, I did something on the back end this morning to help just show you another change and another feature that we've added. So you may see at the top, there's a blue symbol just below the name, and it's got a man in a wheelchair and then a hoist, and it's a little circle. Now that blue circle is called a changing places icon. So basically, this is identifying that this venue in question has a changing places toilet. So a changing places toilet is something that's used a lot of the time by carers, but also by anyone that has specific needs, whether needing a hoist or needing changing facilities or needing more space. These are specialised toilets to enable people to be as independent as possible. Now, a lot of bars and restaurants don't usually have these, but you may find them in hotels, but you'd also find them in places like sport and music venues, stadiums, and potentially airports as well. Also some supermarkets you'll see them in. But the reason why we've added this particular facility is because when we start to add more categories to access rating, i.e. things like music and sport arenas, we can then, from the back end of the system again, notify which particular places have changing places facilities. This enables users to work out what venues are going to fit best for them. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Okay, and we're now back to the main menu. So that concludes the tutorial today. I hope it's been informative. Should you have any questions, feel free to leave any comments below this post. So it's a very exciting time for access rating. With version 3 coming out, we're making some fantastic progress, and we'd like to thank the support we've had from the community. We've listened to the community and we've hopefully delivered with many of these changes we've implemented over the last few months, and obviously the changes in version 3 we think will add great value to the app. But as I say, we're a work in progress. We're going to get this app to be the best as possible to support people, and the best as possible to get information back to businesses of feedback based on your access reviews and ratings. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.